Today, we're going to dive into a really important part of human diversity that honestly is often overlooked or misunderstood: asexuality. We're going to explore what the term really means and uncover the rich, varied experiences it represents.
Our culture pretty much sends one message loud and clear. Sexual attraction is universal. It's just something everyone feels. But what if that just doesn't resonate with you? What if that's not your experience? That question right there is the perfect starting point for understanding asexuality.
All right, so to really get a clear picture, let's start with the fundamentals. We've got to establish some core definitions first.
At its very core, asexuality is a sexual orientation. It's defined simply as experiencing little to no sexual attraction toward other people. Now, the key thing to remember is that it's not about what someone does or doesn't do, it's about their internal experience of attraction itself.
And to really get what that means, we need to be clear on what sexual attraction actually is. Think of it as that specific pull, right? The desire for sexual contact with a particular person. For people who are asexual, that specific feeling is either absent or it's felt very, very rarely. And it's so important to understand that there is no single way to be asexual. People who identify as ace, which is a common shorthand you'll hear, have a huge range of experiences and feelings. It's a deeply personal and incredibly diverse spectrum. Okay, so a lack of sexual attraction doesn't mean a lack of attraction altogether. Not at all. Human connection is way more complex and beautiful than that.
In fact, ace people can and do experience so many other forms of attraction. Someone might feel a deep, romantic pull toward a partner, or they might appreciate someone's aesthetic beauty, kind of like you'd appreciate a piece of art. There can be a real desire for sensual, non-sexual touch, like cuddling or holding hands. And of course, there's that strong platonic attraction that's the foundation of our closest friendships. It's all part of the desire for a deep emotional bond.
This is where we can really untangle three concepts that get mixed up all the time. And honestly, getting this distinction can be a real light bulb moment. So you have libido, which is the general sex drive. The analogy here is perfect. It's like wanting to scratch an itch. Then there's sexual desire, which is the decision to actually act on that itch. But sexual attraction is different. It's wanting to do that with a specific person. An ace person might have a libido, they might even have sexual desire, but not that person's specific attraction. This framework really helps clarify so much.
And this brings us to a really key idea. Asexuality is not a monolith. It's not this one single thing. It actually opens up into a full spectrum of different identities.
Just like sexuality in general, asexuality is absolutely a spectrum. On one end, you might have people who experience zero sexual attraction, period. But within the ace umbrella, you'll also find identities like graysexual and demisexual, which describe different, nuanced experiences of attraction.
For instance, someone who is graysexual or gray ace falls somewhere in that area between asexual and sexual. They might experience sexual attraction very rarely, or maybe they only feel it at a really low intensity.
This quote just nails the key takeaway. Identity can be fluid. A person's experience of attraction can shift and change over their lifetime, and that is perfectly normal and healthy. An identity is valid in the moment it's felt, no matter what came before or what might come after.
Because asexuality is so often misunderstood, it's surrounded by a ton of myths. So let's take a minute and just debunk some of the most common ones.
First up, let's clear up a huge one. Asexuality is not the same thing as celibacy. As this slide lays out, the core difference is choice versus orientation. Celibacy is a conscious decision to not have sex, while asexuality is an intrinsic part of who someone is. It's not a choice.
This quote really crystallizes it, doesn't it? Someone who is celibate might still feel intense sexual attraction. They're just making a choice not to act on it. For an asexual person, that initial feeling of attraction often isn't there to begin with.
It's also so critical to understand that asexuality is a valid sexual orientation, just like any other. It is not a medical problem, it's not a fear of intimacy, and it's not some kind of disorder that needs to be fixed. That's such a harmful myth, and it completely invalidates people's lived experiences.
And finally, there's that well-meaning but totally misguided idea that an asexual person just hasn't met the right person yet. This is really dismissive of their identity. Asexuality is about the nature of one's attraction, not the quality of their romantic partners.
So, now that we've cleared up what asexuality isn't, how does this orientation play out in relationships? Well, the key, just like in any partnership, is clear, honest communication.
Successful relationships that include an ace partner thrive on open dialogue. It really is about discussing boundaries openly, expressing what you each need honestly and without judgment, and being creative to find solutions and forms of intimacy that honor and respect both people.
As we wrap up, let's turn to self-reflection and the importance of support, whether that's for yourself or for someone you love.
A lot of people watching might be asking this very question. And of course, there's no simple test, but there are some questions you can ask yourself. Just thinking about questions like these can help you explore your own feelings. What does attraction feel like to you? Do you feel social pressure to be interested in sex? There are no right or wrong answers here, just your personal truth.
And whatever your answers are, remember this: your identity is valid. Only you can define your experience and choose the labels that feel right, or choose no labels at all. That power is entirely yours.
So we'll leave you with this thought to chew on. Asexuality shows us that attraction is this vast and varied spectrum. It challenges all of us to look beyond our assumptions and opens up a much deeper conversation about human connection. If attraction is a spectrum, where do the labels we use really begin and end? It's something worth thinking about. Thanks for joining us.